This is A. Van Jordan, reading Integrated School Books, Arpeggio. On the cover, Negro men playing checkers in the park. Some wear hats while others wear waves in their hair. Either way, they're all clean, and their strategy brims as sharp as their suits. Within these pages, they're playing chess, protecting future children as they wear ties, dress shirts, shine shoes, looking clean, ready for business or for battle. And their plan? No longer will textbooks be used as chess pieces to keep Negro children in check. Sound familiar? Schools will be pushed to clean bookshelves of the whitewashed lessons of their past. The NAACP opens minds like games of chess, and all excuses for hiding a country's checkered past will be dismissed. Despite segregation's wear and tear from school boards and the fear of their white parents, henchmen, bullies, all just chess pieces, really, but jumping laws like checkers when life is more complex. Books remain where the mind cannot hide. Either you come clean and admit your ignorance, or be a pawn on the chessboard of intellect. Banning books. They think checkmate, but when I see crisis in a library archive where we still argue to be seen, I lose patience. Kleenex please for Karens clutching their pearls. I pray their white kids are reading Langston Hughes in a public library. Check. But one state over, bookshelves have no black authors. Cleaned out. Our books remain under attack. Kings in a game of chess. About this poem. As I read through the archives of the NAACP's Crisis magazine, I find that there are no new struggles. This issue from June of 1967, which also includes memorials to Langston Hughes, had an article on getting books into public schools and public libraries, both by Black authors and on the Black experience. Sound familiar?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Marv Howard, and we're here today to talk about his book.
One of the stories, there's a woman who babysits for an elf, babysits a child, and it's given a salve, and she rubs the salve in her eye, and she can see what she needs to see to be a better babysitter, a better nursemaid.
Right.
Well, she ends up abusing this and rubs the salve on both eyes. And she can see into the afterworld. She can see into Elfland.
Yeah.
And she, of course, gets caught out because she's saying, "Oh, look at what I'm seeing." And the elf says, "Oh, which eye are you seeing this with?" And rubs the salve off. And it's just, that's how the tale ends. It's just, oh well, can't see Elfland anymore.
Right.
And you go, "You were seeing into the land of the dead, lady."
Yeah, really.
And the story is just so, like I said, so matter of fact about it.
In fairy tales, there always seems to be an instructive nature about it, and you better be good to your parents, or they're going to snip off your ear and feed it to a wolf or something. Whereas here, cost response is different.
There are various types of elves and fairies seem very appropriate to their need, because the good neighbors seem to be the ones who are dealing with the purgatory, the helping us work off our sins.
Okay.
The trooping or raiding elves seem to have their own agenda. They're running with their own political or whatever. They're stealing cattle. They're taking over a grain mill on Halloween night, stuff like that. They're just doing their own thing.
Right.
And the people who live there just have to deal with it. But that's part of what living in the borders and in the 18th century was like, I guess.
These other characters that would be in our life sort of help us accept.
Side of me that tries to see what the stories are talking about. When the raiders came through and the raiding elves came through and stole their cattle, that could have just been a group of Highlanders who were decided to come down and steal some cattle. And so let's blame that on the elves because that doesn't get you in trouble. If you told the McConnell clan that if you accuse them of stealing cattle, they may not appreciate it.
Yeah.
They may burn your house down.
Yeah. It'd be fisticuffs.
Right.
So it's a safety valve then too. So you have a third party that you can kind of share your woes with or blame your woes on. So those are kind of the raiding, trooping fairies. What about the brownies? Tell more about the brownies.
Well, household spirits they date back easily to Rome or even Middle East. There's a long history, thousands of years, of people, various cultures talking about household spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt, still do feel, that the brownies and the household spirits, their story goes almost separately from the purgatory aspect of this stuff. They're scratching the same itch that the Roman house spirits solved. They're natural, they're earth spirits, they're nature spirits. And we have them, you see them in Native American literature. You see them in Chinese, Asian literature. They're a worldwide constant. And again, we don't have them anymore. You don't see people put out, or very many people outside of maybe Pennsylvania, put out a bowl of milk at nights so that the chores around the farm get done.
Now, is some of the scarier stuff though also in the brownies, like the whole notion of changelings and where things are taken?
Well, the changeling stuff is more either somewhere in between the troopers and the good neighbors. Child death, up until this last century or so, used to be almost a 50% mortality rate. Rural folks who didn't have access to good medical stuff probably just got used to, well, my baby passed away. The elves must have exchanged it. This isn't my baby. What died was a changeling.
It made me, immediately rethink Midsummer Night's Dream. The stealing of this child and the changeling, and culturally a very elemental piece of life.
You mentioned that the stories like the Grimm's fairy tales, the Kindermundskin, whatever, those have morals and they have lessons. Well,
Right.
a lot of the morals and lessons in the Scottish folklore are how to protect yourself or how to not give offense. You find it's like put red thread on your door, or you plant a rowan tree in your yard, like folk home protection, so that you can touch iron to your child that you think is a changeling and see if the child reacts. It's stories on how to actually protect yourself, like the elves who take over the corn mill on Halloween night. Just let them go. Don't bother them. Don't interrupt them. That's the message of those stories.
How rich a history of these tales are that they've woven, especially cinematically. There's so many films that reading your book just conjured up for me. One of my favorite films is The Devil and Daniel Webster. Going back over that film in my mind, the farmer was on hard times and he just says it out loud, for 2 cents I would, sell my soul to the devil. And in the barn, all of a sudden it lights up and here comes Walter Houston as a scratch. and it's just, right. And I go, oh, this is straight from these tales. This is straight from that time and era where that wasn't considered superstition. You didn't protect yourself. You said the wrong 2 words, and now Daniel Webster's got to work you out of this.
Farmer Gilpin is another one that I just love because he gets good advice. There's the drought, and nobody's cattle is eating well enough, and so they're not getting milk.
Right.
And the good neighbors, he does them a good turn, and they come back and say, take your cattle up to Gower Dell and feed them there. And all of a sudden, there's this pasture that he takes his cattle to that is just, they eat well and they start producing the best milk. And his neighbors get jealous because he's the only one who's taking milk into the market.
Yeah.
And they try to follow him back up to the pasture, to Gower Dell, and they can't find it. It's not there for them. And I just love that story because he does them a good turn. And then when they come back and say, here, go do this, he doesn't say, oh, I don't know if I should do this. He just says, okay, and does it, and it benefits him and his family, and everything works out well for him.
Like at the heartbeat of these tales, like I say, it's not like broad magic. And it's small magic that they turn on. And it'll be, yeah, you just do a good favor. You're not going out of your way, but if it's offered, something in kind is offered, go ahead and do that. Take the cows. Makes good sense.
Fix the sewer that's leaking at my house in the basement under your house.
Right. Can you move that pipe?
Right.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's one of the first stories in that sequence.
Yeah.
But that's what the tales, I mean, in the construct of the book, you have this historical kind of research set up, and then it's given over to the stories, of which you still go in and explain and you know, find some rationales and the history flows through that, but it's almost kind of in two parts. That here's sort of the instructive part of the book, and then here's the art of the thing in that language, to where you know, if you keep going back to that book, you'll get much more of a sense of the feel and the flow of the language. And the book serves as such a great invitation to that culture.
There's Thomas of Ercildoune, who is very much like, well, it's like Thomas the Rhymer. There's similar stories. But Thomas of Ercildoune got a gift that he didn't want. When he came back from 7 years in Elfland, he wasn't allowed to lie. He was cursed with the fact that he always had to tell the truth. And he actually is based on there was a historical Thomas of Ercildoune, who was a local magistrate or judge 800 years ago, 700 years ago, who had that reputation. And then that's his backstory. And so his story, his ballad, is a case where a historical person, the ballad arose about them, as opposed to just a generic, there was a farmer in Gallion or Ayrshire, some generic person. And you can go to that part of Scotland, to the borders, and visit the castle, the home of Thomas of Ercildoune, because people have preserved it, because he's famous. His curse of telling the truth made him essentially immortal in story.
I think about half our songs are based on this song by Merle Haggard. Reasons to quit smoking booze don't do me like before, and I'm hardly ever sober, and my old friends don't come round much anymore. Reasons to quit. The low is always lower than the high. and the reasons to quit don't outnumber all the reasons why. So we keep smoking, yeah, we keep drinking, having fun and never thinking, laughing at the price tag that we pay. Yeah, we keep rolling down that fast lane like two young men feeling no pain. And the reasons for quitting getting bigger each day. Reasons to quit. I can't afford the habit all the time. Need to be sober. Need to write some new songs that will rhyme. Reasons to quit. I have no rhyme or reason when I'm high. Yeah, the reasons to quit don't outnumber all the reasons why. Tell it, Pistol. So we keep smoking, we keep drinking, having fun and never thinking, laughing at the price tag that we pay. Yeah, we keep rolling down that fast lane like two young men feeling no pain. And the reasons for quitting getting bigger each day. Yeah, the reasons for quitting are getting bigger each day. Thank you.
Bob and Lisa. I know. I fell in love, it was a Tuesday. Another sunny afternoon. Just one look and it was doomsday. I felt your image fill the room. I imagine you beside me, and all the words I'd like to say. Throwing stones across the ocean, making promises to you, and trying hard to find a reason for these games I'm going through. Selling loneliness for daydreams, buying sanity from you, seeing everything and nothing in between, falling faster, but it's never like it seems. I'm feeling love like it's just something from a dream. I think of you, of you. I get this feeling as I watch you, some disposable designs, and then I think about the reasons and how they're awfully hard to find. Selling loneliness for daydreams, buying sanity from you, seeing everything and nothing in between, falling faster, but it's never like it seems. I'm feeling love like it's just something from a dream. I think of you, I think of you, I think of you, I think of you.
Thank you.
Who were the Beatlettes? First of all, a little music history for those who weren't around in 1964. In February of 1964, UK group The Beatles made a big splash in America with their first live appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show, a CBS network television program. That month, the Fab Four performed for 3 consecutive Sundays on The Sullivan Show. 2 performances were live, and 1 was pre-taped. After that, Beatlemania was born, and the group became the most popular band in the world. In addition to their Sullivan Show appearances, the band even managed to squeeze in a short East Coast American tour that included a closed-circuit telecast from Washington, D.C. It screened locally on a delayed basis Saturday and Sunday, March 14th and 15th, 1964, at the California Theater in downtown San Bernardino, California. In early 1964, Inland Empire concert promoter Bob Lewis was approached by a group of investors wanting to finance an appearance by the Beatles at the Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino. However, by that time, the 7,300 capacity Swing was considered too small of a venue to host an appearance by the Fab Four. So instead, Lewis and the Swing had to settle for staging a June 1964 concert by the then unknown Rolling Stones. Meanwhile, here in the Inland Empire, the teenage reaction to Beatlemania was almost instantaneous. Some boys began altering their hairstyles, if they thought they could get away with it, in defiance of the highly restrictive school dress codes of the day. At Inland Empire School Colton High, the Beatlettes formed. They were an all-girl Beatles lip-sync tribute band that came together in early 1964. The group was made up of 3 sophomore class students and 1 junior class student. Linda Johnson, from the class of 1966, portrayed Beatles guitarist George Harrison. Her Colton High School activities included drill team and the junior class play. Janelle Layerly, class of 1966, mimicked drummer Ringo Starr. Like Johnson, she was also in the junior class play and drill team. Christine Perez, class of 1966, imitated bassist Paul McCartney. Perez was the third Beatlette who was a member of the drill team. She also was in Y-Teens, which was a teenage version of the YWCA. And Betty Zane, class of 1965, impersonated guitarist John Lennon. Zane was a member of Orchesis, a dance group, and robed choir. The Beatlettes celebrated the Fab Four by pantomiming to the backing of recorded Beatles music tracks. One memorable appearance took place at a Colton High School assembly. It's probably safe to speculate that this performance was quite possibly witnessed by future music artist Jimmy Webb, Colton High class of 1964, and Jim Messina, Colton High class of 1965, who were both attending the school at the time. On April 1st, 1964, the Beatlettes were the subject of a front-page photo in the News of the Inland Empire section of the San Bernardino Sun newspaper. The text under the photo read, "We Like Beatles," a quartet of teenage Colton girls who call themselves the Beatlettes have appeared on several local programs in which they pantomime songs the Beatles have recorded. The girls wearing "We Like Beatles" badges and holding 2 Beatle cakes baked by Christine Perez are, from left, Janelle Layerly, Betty Zane, Christine Perez, and Linda Johnson. The girls attend Colton High School. As a postscript, next-door neighbors Christine Perez and Betty Zane had one of their dreams come true in the summer of 1964. They obtained tickets for and attended the Beatles' historic first LA concert at the Hollywood Bowl on August 23, 1964.
Want you, need you, called you from their land. I told you forever. We'll take this as a sign. But the course of this mean old world was bound. Valentine, my Valentine, you can pour your dreams in mine. Close your eyes until you see us shine. One more time. I want you. Called you every time. Told you forever. Let's take this as a sign. But the course of this mean old world was poor in its design. Valentine, my Valentine, you can pour your dreams in mine. Close your eyes until you told you forever. Take this as a sign. But the course of this mean old world is bound to misalign. Valentine, my Valentine, you can pour your dreams in mine. Close your eyes until you see us shine. One more time. Valentine, my Valentine. Wait just a little bit.